Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker, and today I am very excited to be introducing our first monthly subscription box review series for 2025. So I am throwing that up there in quotes. This is not going to be quite so much of a review as it's going to be more introducing you to the Arcane Fiberworks monthly mystery subscription box. We know before we even click purchase on this box what our cost evaluation breakdown is. And thanks to Tyler's amazing website, we have a really good feeling about what type of a dyer Tyler is. So Tyler Burgess is the owner, head of marketing, and main dyer for Arcane Fiberworks. And I am imagining he also has some form of a background in, or has studied or has somehow maximized online merchandising, because they have one of the most amazing websites I have ever seen for a yarn company. So I'm just going to throw that out there. If you are in Canada, this is local for you. It does take a couple extra days for the box to get to me. So we are starting off with December's box. I know it's January 7th, but we're going to roll with it. I was a little antsy that if I had started with January, I wasn't going to have it in time to start off the new year with it. So we are starting with December's box. So we will have December, January, and February here for the unboxing. I already have a project chosen for this yarn, so I really kind of want to go cake it up and get started. But let's crack on to understanding what this box is like. So when you go under the shop tab, there is a place somewhere under there for the subscription box. I will leave that link directly in the description box of this video. As with all of my subscription box review series, with the exception of ALC, I have 100% purchased this without the company knowing, without anybody in the company knowing. I don't think they know who I am. So it's kind of perfect. I get to purchase it, review it, and everybody's blind until the first video goes up. So I'm super excited. I did make a purchase in November of just yarn and wonderful shopping experience. So I was very excited to go ahead and make this our first subscription box of the year. So as I said, we already know coming in what our discount is going to be. Underneath, there are 4 different purchase options. You can buy 1 month by itself for $26 USD. You can get the monthly subscription box, which is 15% off, which makes it $22.10 USD. You also have an option for a bi-monthly box or a quarterly box, and those discounts are listed very clearly in the description for this club. It is a single club or single skein club. No perks, no extras, no patterns, no nothing. We are just getting a single hank of yarn. Perfect. You can purchase more than 1 box if you would like to receive more than 1 hank of yarn. You can get your yarn in fingering weight, DK weight, worsted weight, or bulky weight. So very exciting. I have notes here. Let's make sure I covered everything real quickly. There is a note on there that they do try to source ethical. I am not sure for them what that means, but I do know happy animals, good fiber. I am all for ethical farming and finding ethical sources for things like fleece and meat. So I have learned way more about animal husbandry over the last couple of months here doing our Understanding Fiber series, and I am all for ethical farming. I grew up spending my summers in an area where, like my grandmother's street, we had a dairy, a chicken farm, as well as horses. And then eventually there were, I'm not sure if they were beefalo or buffalo, but they were ginormous. I dig animals. I love farm animals. Cows are one of my all-time favorite, but I do love me some sheep and goat as well. So I am not sure how they specifically source ethically and what efforts they go through, but they do make note that they do try to source ethical fibers. Yeah, so everything else is I've already mentioned here. So let's crack on for what we have this month. like I said, I really want to get this caked up because I already have a project chosen for this month's yarn. Isn't she beautiful? Once again, not something I would normally be drawn to. Now, the blue is like perfectly up my alley. I mean, it's like the more cerulean version of the teal I'm wearing, but it's in that same beautiful, beautiful tone I'm already wearing. But that yellow is just so happy. So I have a feeling I'm going to have a lot of the same feelings for Tyler's dye work as I do for Cheryl Ham from Hypnotic Yarn / Yarnable, where I'm going to always feel a little bit like I didn't know I needed this, but now that I have it, this is going to be a subscription box where I'm going to find it very hard, I think, to not continue it after 3 months, just because how happy. And plus, I like 82% of everything else that's on their website. It was very hard not to buy everything when I made my purchase in November. So this is Mystery of the Month, Filled with Joy. Mine is on the fingering base. It is an 80/20 merino nylon superwash, 400 meters, 437 yards, 100 grams, knitting 27 to 32 stitches over 10 centimeters or 4 inches. Using US 1 through 3 needles, crochet 21 to 32 stitches over 10 centimeters, 4 inches, using a US B-1 to an E-4 hook, which is, for knitting, that's a 2.25 millimeter to a 3.25 millimeter. For crochet, that's a 2 millimeter to a 3.5 millimeter. I love having all that information right there on the tag, guys. How easy is that? So this is our very first month's yarn. I am not a big yellow person. The way I have the camera angled, you can see far more of my stash than usual. I do not have a whole lot of particularly orange or yellow in my stash. So having this is very special, but it is very joyful. My first project out of the gate is going to be a crochet project. We will test crochet and knitting with the subscription box. I know a lot of fellow crocheters are always nervous about crocheting with hand-dyed yarns, as the variegated tonal nature of hand-dyeds tend to intimidate a lot of crocheters. As I'm always saying, use the good yarn, experiment. The worst that can happen is you have to frog it. And now you know, and you can move on to the next project. So my first project is going to be a lace pattern. It is a pattern from Annie's Crochet Design, I believe. And it is the copper, where's the name? Copper. I've got the name on here somewhere. Copper Beach Shawl. So I will leave a link for that in the description box as well. I printed this out very badly in black and white, but you can see this is what we're going to be working with here. So it would be a light, airy option. I think this yarn is going to pair perfectly with this pattern. So I didn't want to use the trellis shawl pattern again with a hand-dyed yarn. It is kind of a perfect pattern for hand-dyed, but I have noticed a lot of the Annie Crochet Designs patterns pair very nicely, especially shawl patterns with hand-dyed yarns, because the designs are very open and airy. There's a lot of crochet lace work in there, so they tend to pair very nicely. So I fell in love with this pattern while I was looking for something specific to work with this yarn. So yeah, I am very excited. So like I said, we're really going to use this as more of an opportunity to test out and see how Tyler's yarns crochet, how they knit, how the color pulling and color layout kind of works for both of the two crafts that I personally do. I do also believe these would weave up beautifully as well. So if you were a weaver, crack out the loom maybe and do some playing with me. But I hope you guys enjoy this series. I hope you definitely go check out Tyler's website because it is spectacular. And if you're in the US, I live in the southern US. Shipping only took like 5 days to get to me, which really isn't that bad. I have a hard time sometimes getting things from Texas to South Carolina. So getting something from Canada, South Carolina was rather impressive. So anyway, I am going to go get this caked up. I am very excited to work with this. So I love you. I hope you are having a wonderful, fantastic day. As always, I look forward to seeing you real soon. Bye, you guys.